Hello everyone. Welcome into another episode or day of Good Morning NASDAQ. It is myself, Kyle Williams. Dom should be joining us here momentarily. He just had to take Mr. Kellogg to the airport. They had a good time yesterday. For those who were in Four Leaf, you guys had a webinar together with them. That was good. But yeah, I'll get it started as usual. And whenever Dom comes in. Again, this is live trading day, so from market open till maybe 15 to 25 minutes in, we'll do some live trading. You'll see my screen here, and we'll see what happens today. So for me, two really main watches. We'll go over a few tickers, but there's really I guess there's three main watches today. The first one is Lumen. Let me actually make the ticker here bigger so we can all see it. Let's do like a 26 font. There we go. LUMN. Little bit of I don't want to call it a slower mover, but clearly has gone from 1 to about the high in the threes here, but it's done it over, a 2 or 3 week period. Specifically though, over the last 4 days, it's gone from 150 into the high twos, low threes. This alone is enough for me to be interested, but I do think there is some merit to include these smaller candles. It's not a big increase in extension, but it is there. I can't ignore that. It does make me think there is a world where this, especially if we go to the intradaily or the intraday from yesterday's action, a lot of resistance here now, from these bounce attempts in the 280s and 290s. So I think using that as risk and seeing if the stock can even get over those levels, I do think this offers a possible red day, getting short in the, call it 270s, 280s, and then getting a pull possibly to 240s, 230s, maybe lower if it gets uglier, but I will have to read a price action in that moment to see if it even gets there. So red day there. SERV is the next ticker. Frankly, yesterday, I think was the, not so much easy money, but the best money, the best range money, so to speak. I really wanted this to gap up, because if it gapped up into its range of what yesterday was like, what's yesterday's range? Either bounce highs of these like mid 17s or this resistance or the support now resistance in the kind of mid 18s to almost 19. I was hoping it was going to gap up into there and fail and then offer a fade down to red green. The fact that we're kind of right here makes me feel a bit 50-50 about it. I don't know if we have more weakness to go down to 14 or lower. I don't know if we're due for some strength to go back into 17 and then short there. For me, I feel like I'm either going to be smaller size here looking for a fade in case I do stop out and then it does spike into the 17s, and I can give myself a second chance to reshort and then actually catch that pullback. Or not at all, right? If this was gapping down, I wouldn't be playing it. Last time this happened, last week, it had a huge fade beautifully, and then the next day it actually was green. It actually had a really strong spike back. Here's Dom. Hello, sir.
Hey, Jim.
I just finished my watch list, and I'll let you take it away here.
Finish her up. I got to open up some
software.
brokers. Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, so last time I went a gap down and actually had a strong day. So here we are having a small gap up. Like I said, I don't know if I still feel 50-50. I don't know if we're going to spike first. I don't know if we're going to drop first. And so it just kind of, it's not as ideal as I would have liked. And frankly, I haven't really traded this ticker that well this entire run up. Even yesterday, if you saw my post on Twitter, I covered this very early with much smaller size than I wanted and made much less than I wanted. So either way, it's just one of those ones I've kind of accepted as the one that got away, the one that I didn't really trade as well as I wanted to. The other third main watch of the day, because we got Lumen, we got Serve, is FFIE. They do have their annual shareholder meeting today at 12 Eastern. I thought they would make it into the close, but they do have it during market hours, which is fine. I am short biased on this. I actually do already have a short position that I've built in over the last week or two, mainly because they either have to, without going into a bit of detail, maybe we can go into it more later after the market opens, but they either have to vote to increase their authorized shares so they can dilute more, or they have to, or vote to do a reverse split, so they can dilute more anyway. Like and if they don't do either of those, they risk going bankrupt. Like it's truly, unfortunately, from a shareholder perspective, a lose-lose situation for them. Hence why I'm short. Right? They are probably, if they don't go bankrupt and they do try to stay alive, it's going to return to like this kind of action. Just bleed, 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 bleed. It's kind of already looked like that, but none of this has been dilutive because their authorized share count is maxed. So they need to increase that, and they need to do a reverse split, which is, I think, very likely. Otherwise, they go bye-bye. Anyways, other potential plays. There is a gapper of an NUZE. Was a gapper last week, but now is gapping again in the 62% range. Probably not something I touch. I don't know. I could see it crapping pretty well. However, I had for whatever reason, being a low float and choppy, I had a more difficult time on it last week. And a bit confused why it's even gapping up. From my understanding, there's warrants available now, which actually does make it actually maybe a good candidate to crap itself. I don't know. Maybe I play it, maybe I don't. But also borrows are actually kind of expensive, which I don't really care to pay for. So it's one of those ones where like if it's there and I'm paying attention to it, we'll give it a shot. But if not, I haven't even borrowed yet, so it's likely I miss and just watch. There's also ISPO, but frankly ISPO. Thankfully, shout out to D22 Dawson. Inform me why this is up, which is just kind of a pump is grouping, or a group is pumping it. Does have good volume though yesterday, so there is a world where I could see this having a good red day, and maybe I do short it. But again, it's going into the end of the month. I'm just kind of ready for a new start. I don't really care to partake in lower tier or lower grade plays, and this to me, after knowing it's just being pumped by a group, doesn't really give me convicted vibes, right? So we'll see. Other than that, I'm much more convicted about Lumen or Serve. In that order, it goes Lumen, Serve, then this one, and then obviously later today is IFFIE. So that's what we got going on today.
What were your thoughts on Lumen and ISPO just before I talk about them?
ISPO, I probably won't touch it, just because it's being pumped rather than now that I know it's being pumped, this run doesn't seem as natural to me as it should. Hence, I don't think a red day will be as natural as it should. So just it could happen, but it's just lower grade for me. So instead of like a B, I thought this is probably like a C grade. LUMN I like a lot. This is one of those ones where it can either work out really great or it'll work not so great, and I'll be like, okay, it makes sense. I've seen charts like this offer both outcomes. So for me, I mentioned to people when I brought it up earlier, I'm going to use these bounces from yesterday, the 280s, 290s, as like a guide. And if it can hold under there, I imagine there's going to be some kind of fade, hopefully 240s, 230s, etc. So.
All right.
Yes.
I'm watching both of those as well. Lumen is kind of right around red green, so more interested in that one. The range is not as big there.
Right.
You kind of had a speed up yesterday. I kind of think like 150, 160 up to the 340 area, so a little over 100% move. When I'm dealing with less ranges, that means risk reward has to be that much more impressive because I'm not going to make it. Something like Serve, you can take less shares on a short like yesterday, but you're making $5 or $6 a share, so it can kind of add up in your favor.
Right.
Something like this, I need to make sure I have good risk level. So I'd ideally like to see it open slightly green and then go red. Kind of an interesting close there with that 250 to 270 kind of range. So we're kind of opening at the high end of that. We'll see. Maybe even a morning spike, set a risk level, then go red. And I'd be interested to give it one shot. Not a professional short seller. I think I'm gonna make a shirt that says that. So risk reward's got to be good there. News and UZE just kind of unfortunate that I've been watching this one closely the last few days. It's kind of just been uptrending, probably more on that liquidity trap side where just kind of pops back into range and then does no volume. Every spike into 420, 430 gets stuffed, but then we keep holding 350, 360, 370. And then the PR comes. Would have rather had that happen during market hours. And if it had opened 480 to 520, somewhere in there, I would have been interested in playing it on a higher volume day. But up here at 6, up 67% and $2.50. I'm okay missing that. So news, I'll let go. CMAX potential multi-day breakout here over the 850 area. Kind of a pop back towards the level yesterday into 8 on pretty low volume though, only 1.8 million. So if we're holding 8 or right around 8 and not doing any volume, I probably just let it go. I need to see probably at least like feel like we're going to forecast for 25 to 40 million to feel like we have a shot. But this is a nice daily chart that I do think can push a couple dollars a share. Over 8, kind of $10 magnet, I feel like makes sense. So watching that one closely into the open. BFI, more of a third eye watch. Not probably not going to click any buttons during this session, but holding up after 3 days now. Spike from the 20 cent area up towards 80, and now kind of popped back yesterday and holding up. So as long as it's over 50, I'll keep watching it, but kind of want to see probably 65 cent area hold on an intraday for an entry there. Serve, I won't touch today, I don't think. I have it on my list as a potential reversal, but 8 to 24 is kind of what 200%. Um, I think there's possible that that bounces with it being so weak yesterday. So around 15 open, maybe 15 to 16. Potentially watch a 5 minute high break there for a push back into the 17 to 18 area, maybe a little further than people think towards 19. But the risk reward's got to make sense there. And the more it spikes right now, the less I am interested. But we got 2 minutes to go. And that's my list. Yes, that's my list. I'm running behind. I just dropped Jimmy off Jack at the airport. He's heading back to Boston. Did a webinar yesterday for the four leafs. If you want to check that out, get access to it, clovertrain.io. He was there as well as Jay Bones and Randy Walker. Also did a video with Jack last night. So keep an eye out for that on the YouTube channel. Make sure you're subscribed. We post long form content every Monday.
Beautiful. We got about a minute here into the open. Actually, speaking of open, Lumen's already doing what I think it was going to do, which makes me want to short.
What's it doing?
It's pulling a bit.
Why can't I find us on YouTube? Are we 100% live right now?
Oh yeah, we got chatters. Thomas asks, was the four-leaf webinar posted yet? Do you know if you posted it yet, Dom, or not?
I might not have. I'll do that immediately after this.
Yeah.
If I,
we'll get it up.
I'll check.
We'll get it up there. I'm gonna start in here. We're gonna put some in there. Oh, dropping more naturally. That's all right. I filled it all. Let's see if we get a little pop. If it drops immediately, I probably won't get my fill, but we'll see. Here we got 30 seconds.
Someone asked Myra first green day. Not a first green day. It already bounced. Went from $5 down to $2, and then bounced for 2 days up to 370.
Myra. Yeah. Oh yeah, this is a little choppy.
You already shorted Looms.
Looms, little starter. Yeah, I'm kind of worried I won't be getting my next ad unless I chase it here, but we'll see. Hopefully it pops. Here we go. Good. We're gonna use the starter.
ISPO opening up 8%, so I'll probably just let that live its life.
Yeah. So we're gonna let the starter risk off like the 290 worst case. Wide risk on just the starter, and then we'll look to add from there. And if it does fail, I'd love to get ads back on the 260s. Let's see. And like I mentioned, I'm probably going to be patient for serve. I'd rather miss it than get short now and have it spike on me. So hopefully this spikes into like the mid-17s, and I would love to maybe actually give it a shot up there.
It's a pretty ideal day for live trading considering there's no gappers over 60%.
Right? Let's see here, Lumen. What are we doing?
If it fails to kind of hold green here, I'll short and then look to add in a minute.
And again, just one of those ones, like we said, I think it's going to be one that actually fades quite well or is actually a complete pain in the butt. So, yet to be seen. We'll see.
If it wants to spike right now, I'm not going to join yet. NUZE straight up off the open.
Nice. Looking around, see what else is moving.
What was your big fear with ISPO?
Not a fear, it's just less ideal. I just know it's now being pumped by a group. So, like, it could still offer a red day, don't get me wrong. It's just not as ideal. Like this, because I know a group is pumping it, it makes me know that these two green days are not as natural as they would be of like a normal. If a normal runner had news, it'd bring in normal volume, it'd bring in normal retail, it would have a normal run, and it's having the normal red day. But when it's being manipulated up, it makes me think the red day won't be natural either because it's manipulated as well. kind of like, I don't know if it's China pump, but it is some kind of Dawson
I looked
convention.
last night when I saw your watch list. I didn't see China.
Yeah, I didn't see China either, but it just the group, or not, I don't even know what group it is, but just the essence about it. I mean, right now, like volume this looks terrible, you know. Like I would want it much higher. This is not even. It's almost like it's weird. Like yesterday, it's opened for almost 2 hours, and then it brought volume in midday. Like that's just not. It doesn't make sense to me. So we're gonna probably avoid it, but only because I'm being picky. I mean, the reality is it's still, I think, like a C grade red day, if I would call it, or an attempt. And so there's a world where, I mean, this could totally fail and be just fine. I'm just being a little picky.
Yeah, everything on my list is kind of a liquid. CMAX has a 20-cent spread. Fifi, I don't know if you talked about that one. Jack in the
Yeah.
car was talking to me about how every time it has volume pre-market, kind of dips a little and then rips and then fails hard. So I'll bet you he's long on that from the airport.
They have I mentioned before you got on, they have their annual shareholder meeting at 12 Eastern today.
Ooh, big day for him.
Yeah. All right, Lumen here might have to stop me out. Let's see. What's this high? It's like 91, I think. Yeah, 291. We'll see.
Looking like a pretty slow day. I did quite well on serve yesterday, long and short, so don't need to press here on the last day of the month.
And Fifi is spiking now as we say it. I actually would love to add some short if it gets high enough. Maybe like 45 would be nice, but we'll see if it gets there. Lumen stalling out a little bit. Serve kind of a weak attempt there. Couldn't even get to 17. It's kind of a bummer. Because I still feel 50-50 bad. I don't know if we're going to just dip and chop. I don't know if we're going to get another secondary move. Yesterday was definitely the easiest of them all in terms of days. Yeah, Kellogg is. Kellogg Dave Long FFI. That's so funny. You posted in the chat. Where is it at? Still at 40? I got my lead analyst with me here. No, do not go on the. My lead. This is my portfolio manager. Say
Is it
hello.
Jim?
Yep. He manages the portfolio, but not right now. He loves stealing the keyboard from me. A little bit of a fail so far. FFIE, Lumen, still not dying. I think if Lumen goes back red, I think that would be an add opportunity for me, like on red green, and then move my risk to whatever high day it is. I think that'd be enough failure for me to give it a shot or to feel better about it.
Serve held low day. Just really gotta wonder how much upside there is.
Lumen, you're gonna stop me out. Let's see. A few cents away. That's why I'm glad I did just a starter. Although the wide risk will make it a little bit bigger. I think at max with some slippage will lose like 3K, which is a little bit bigger for starter size for me, but it's not a big deal. Was willing to risk up to like 5 or 6K on this, so just about half. If I do stop out here. NUZE, going for it. New high day, or that first top attempt. And I mentioned pre-market here. Serve, there is a chance I could give this a short. I could see this like if it's breaking low day, I could see myself shorting here and risking like this dollar a share. But again, the risk score's not great because like what do I think my dollar downside is? It's maybe 2 to 1 if it really gets going under 14. But even then, it would be small size because in the event I do stop out over higher day, I want to give myself another chance to reshort if it does get into the high 17s, maybe 18s. So, but we'll see. Lumen, yeah, look at that. There we go. It's a good start. News is going to halt up, and UZE this is going to halt.
I'll bet you Randy Walker's long that.
Nice.
So again, check out that webinar. Got to hear from different points of view. I'll bet he'll say gap up on big volume. That's the breakouts he likes. Whereas I will avoid him because I'm not already in. That's what he prefers.
Everyone's got their own style. FFIE, kind of bummed actually. I wish I actually did spike higher. Would have liked that ad, but I did not add here. But good failure so far. Let me look at the room here.
Could have long served there, but I'm just avoiding it right now. Decent risk reward here,
nice
1620s, 1580.
Nice save. Yeah, great. I literally love. I was talking about it, I think, briefly in the room yesterday. I was like, I love this daily. When I look at this daily, it's a chart that makes me think like, man, this is such a good opportunity. I should have, I would have crushed it. And then you look back at actually my trades. I'm like, oh no, I'm actually like probably slightly red.
Yeah, I won on 2 out of like 8 trades on it, and I had the right idea the entire time and just mismanaged it, and it was rough. It's one of those tickers that, daily chart's like, oh, how much did you make on that? And you're like, oh, I lost. Same with Fifi.
Yeah, I was better off if I just didn't trade it. Like, yeah, sadly, but it happens. And it's actually funny, both on both red days, this day and this day, I had a life schedule outside of the markets that kind of hindered from me trading it better. This day I had to cover early because I had a wedding thing to go to, and then this day I stayed in the position during a meeting I had to attend. However, I was covering from the meeting because I was like, all right, I just need to focus, and it was in the 17s. This is when it was pulling back into here, like that was making this kind of move, and I was like, all right, let me just cover and then focus on the rest of the meeting, and then I come back after the meeting. I'm like, oh, that would have been nice if I just, focused a little, wasn't focused on one thing, and maybe could have been a little more patient, but it happens. It is what it is. But here we go. Maybe making a redemption because I do think I just think there's so much resistance now that wherever this spikes out, it's gonna find some kind of top and offer a pull. Now the question is how big of a pull. Right, I think the higher the better. So if it goes like to 19, I think it could pull easily to 17. If it only goes to 18, maybe to 16. I don't think it goes low a day. Maybe it does. It gets really ugly. I mean, clearly it's shown that it can offer some big fades, but I'm not so convinced how big of a fade we're gonna get.
And then it also comes down to your plan. Are you looking for a day trade just to get a good average to swing?
Yeah, definitely not a swing for me. I would be looking for just like it's almost like a daily bounce, but on the very next day. We've seen a lot of these this year, where it's like not a full-fledged, first green day into a daily bounce, but like it's the next day. I think it kind of spikes into resistance.
Yeah, if I was long serve there, 1620s, risking 15. What's the low day?
Yeah, 1680s.
Yeah, I'd be thinking if it can clear yesterday's 1750s area bounce highs. I think probably yesterday's VWAP is possible, 19 to 1950.
Yeah, let's see, where's that at?
It was just so weak yesterday. I mean, if you survived the morning, you were able to, really just be patient, sit with it. So I think it's possible that people who swung overnight could just get a little trigger happy. We get some covers in.
Yep. All right, we got Lumen here showing some weakness. Part of me thinks I actually should have probably tried to short on that little like lower low here in the 270s, but this could still hold red green, so we're gonna try to be as patient as possible. I want like confirmation to be short on. And unfortunately, the new high is 286, and my risk was 291, so it's not like I really add much more. Maybe double my size max. My portfolio analyst is playing with a pen. Oh, it's like having little children, little furry children running around. Anyways, guys, any questions? It's kind of slower. Dust has kind of settled. The trends are kind of been getting set.
Let's see. It's kind of a weird little hammer candle on Lumen.
Yeah.
Saunders, the slowest day for me in week so far. Nothing wrong with that. I feel like we've had some good opportunities. You got to think again, the overall market has been downtrending. We're up 1% today, but basically the last week and a half we have been in a downtrend, and that definitely finds its way into small caps and just people's mentalities. And we got to remember we're in peak summer. So the opportunities you get, take advantage of them. Serve. There was definitely an opportunity for that to become your month. If you just traded that stock well on the news day, on the breakout, on the first red day yesterday. I know it's easy to say just do absolute work on the best tickers of the month, but that really is what it comes down to sometimes. We were talking with Jack yesterday just about how many great opportunities there are this year that basically make up his year, and it's not that many, but being able to actually be prepared to execute on those days and then be hands off on the days where there's nothing.
What was the question? Or were we just talking about the webinar yesterday?
Just talking about the market, said slow down.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
I really don't like the way this Lumen trades.
As we end July and head into August, August has usually always been either a mix of the slowest, but partially in my own experience from my own individual trading, the toughest month. I've never had a killer August, right? It's always been slightly green, struggling to be green, small green. And again, anything can change. It's not like that has to continue. It's just it's the seasonality things. Like August, September are always 2 months that are just never my cup of tea kind of thing. So
you just think everyone's out scouting for deer hunting?
Sure. Yeah. Traders leave. So it's the last few months of summer. Any traders who haven't taken vacations then do take them. Like, it's the last wave, so to speak, before winter comes around, fall and winter, which is usually better. All right, Lumen, are we gonna do it? Can you prove to me that you're weak?
This feels like a very high float stock.
Yeah, it is. It's actually I think it's at 1 or 2 billion market cap. So at $2, it's definitely got a big float. Or shares.
I'm trusting you on ISPO spread, not great there, but kind of a lot of pretty good topping action there in the 830 to 840 area, risking off 850s. I didn't take it. We'll see if it does go red. I'd probably just be looking for yesterday's low range, 6 to 650 area.
Yeah. Good point though. The spread is literally 20 cents. Oh.
Not easy to short because you will find yourself in a position where you just mark it in at a 20% negative premium, and
it's like you don't want that. Okay.
BFI popping towards that 65 area right now.
BFI. Oh, look at that.
Volume 2.7 mil. Like it's just like.
So, Lumen did just crack there. I did just add. I decided to make a little hybrid plan. Instead of doubling my size, I tripled it, but we're gonna risk half.
Hybrid plan.
Well, I have 10,000 shares. I wanted 20, but we're gonna do 30. But I'm gonna risk half on like this last little pop here, 278, and then the rest on high day. Just trying to be a little fancy with it to get more size, because at 20,000 shares, it's just not that much, in my opinion.
Are you getting jiggy with it over there?
We're trying to get a little spicy,
What's like best case here? 230, or do you think it can break that?
We'll see. I do think 240. I think 230 might have some support given it was yesterday. I think I'll probably be at least 2/3 covered, and then maybe give it a third left to see if it can go to like 220s. But I'm not expecting, it's not an expectation just because it could easily not do that. And also why I'm willing to do that or do this and, short more and then risk half, because I partly feel like if this is going to work well, it might not even come back over 270, to be honest. Like, I think this should immediately it just lost low day, which is a great start. I mean, this should immediately go sub 250 in my opinion. We should just start panicking.
BurgerFi, BFI popping into the 70s. Volume picking up a bit, but do want to see some more consolidation there. There was nothing in this morning open that made me feel like I want to buy, unless I'm playing off yesterday's levels and just buying into 50 cents. But I didn't see enough there to make me feel like it had to be today, so I'll wait. I mean, to have a good breakout here, like an actual one, like we've seen on these lower price stocks, I'd be thinking 100 mil minimum's got to be kind of like the bar, and we're at 4 million on the day right now. So
Yeah,
I don't
quite
mind
low.
missing it. I'm trying to really be better about quality of setups, and even if something does work, like you saw when that was spiking there, the spread kind of got to 1 or 2 pennies. Like that's not ideal for a 60-cent stock. So
Yeah,
you
ew.
see right now, look at this bull. Like
Ew, yeah. Look at
it's
that.
really hard to manage your positions when you know that at any moment it could drop the bid, and
Yeah, here your position moves 5 to 10% in a tick, not a
it's just not
not a
fun.
minute. But yeah,
ISPO red.
ISPO, yes, red. Yeah, I mean, again, this is the tough part about it where totally could have a good red day. It's just one of those ones where, I'm going to be picky with. And if it happens, it's one of those ones that, hey, taking it would have actually been better. But
It's one of those things where you think about like the ignorance of your beginning years, of
totally.
where when you were just trading first red days, you would hit this 100 out of 100 times. You wouldn't have known about text messages or private rooms of pumps, and you would have either shorted the topping action this morning or you would have blindly shorted 770, risking 850. And if it goes to six, you would have been really happy.
Right.
Sometimes I swear I've said this for years, but like sometimes the more you know can play against you because like you have more information, you understand dilution. So maybe there's an active ATM where there's potential warrants and that keeps you from longing something and it becomes the biggest squeezer of the day. Or you don't, I don't know what the opposite would be, but sometimes having more information can kind of mess around with, which is why I try to stay for the most part just in tune with the technicals. There we go, looms.
Here we go. Looking good. Sub 250, probably coming soon.
Nice lower volume day.
I do have a cover order at 245. We'll see if it can get me.
Go get Kyle. He's getting jiggy with it. ISPO still 30 cents spread, but would have had to go smaller size there. Probably a lot of rip potential on you. Burger
Sir,
Fi back down to 63. What were you gonna say?
I was going to Serve technically made a new high day just now, but not much. Just a few cents.
Yeah, if I was long, play'd still be there. Still be hodling. A lot of resistance though yesterday in this area. 17 to 1770.
Yeah. All right.
C-Max drifting off. What happened to IMNN? Oh, that's a
Offering.
hot Doji Day one mixed in with some dilution, eh?
Yeah. Well,
What did it do after hours? Did it get jiggy? No, it would have been an easy. I wanted to hold that overnight, but
offering. News going to halt up again, or at least tried to there for a second. Now it's pulling back.
news, yeah. I'm telling you, sometimes the worst breakouts work the best.
Yeah. Lumen sub 250 there for a moment. Nice failed bounce attempt. That's good. Oh, here we go. Definitely sub 250 now. Well, anyways, guys, we got a couple more minutes. Any last bit of questions before we head back into the room? Oh, 245. Let's see. I'm on the bid. Can you get me? Can we fill me? We're down 8% on the day. I was expecting somewhere between 10 and 20. And 10% is what? 240 something? Let's do the math there.
10% of what, high day or
No,
previous close?
previous
Oh,
close. Point
27 cents
240
off of.
exactly is lower day. or sorry, it's 10%. Back to 245 bid. There we go. Filled a third. We got another third in the 230s. Can we do it? Can we get to these lows here?
ISPO down at 7 now. Anything moving on the scanner that we just didn't?
Not that I see.
It's moving now. NC 50% up on the day.
News pulling back a little more. Couldn't halt up there. It's now pulling back. Nice run though. All right, we'll give it a couple more minutes. We'll see if Lumen continues this panic. If not, we'll close it out here.
You know, BFAI, when you have these kind of like thinner, lower price stocks, like even now, like say you wanted to buy when you saw 65 area start to consolidate around there, like 65 risking 60, like depending how far I think this can go, like maybe 90 cents or a dollar. It's just really tough spots because you don't really feel good about it. You got a penny spread. It's so easy to get stopped out and then take 2 or 3 cents of slippage.
Right.
You know, it's just kind of the benefit generally of the lower price stocks is that the risk reward should be increased because you have tighter spreads, you know, more volume, and we're kind of working at all the disadvantages now. It's kind of working against it. We have low volume, low price, wide spreads, and without a lot of the benefit because it's percentage wise, 10 cents is a big move, but if you have to risk 5 cents, it's not great.
Yeah, no bueno. Lumen, here we go. Lower, come on. Sub 240. You can do it.
I had 237 covering.
Oh my gosh, me too.
No, you have way more size than me. I'm moving it. I'm kidding, I won't. I'm not afraid.
I'm not scared. Can't scare me.
Any questions? Let me take a look.
Someone asked what was my risk level on Lumen short. So for the starter position, it was yesterday's main bounce attempt, which was right here at 291. This little top right here that honestly stuffed super hard on slightly bigger volume. 291. I was thinking about 284. Like clearly there's two tops here, but honestly on a starter I like to pick the wider risk. So 291 was the risk to pick for me, and then turns out that actually was the better level because it topped out at 286. So it would have stopped you out on that first bounce level, just barely actually, like by like 2 pennies, which sucks, but would have held the 291 level. And then once I moved my risk down to half at 278, and then the other half at 286.
Was that the hybrid?
The high day, yeah.
No, the hybrid plan.
Oh, the hybrid plan, yes. Half risk, half risk at a low tier risk level, which is lower high.
It's so funny how easy it is. Your brain will compensate and like force you you just want more size. So you're like, I'll just take this.
Yeah.
I'm not going to risk more money. I'm just going to cut it earlier.
Trying to be fancy with it. And it's a good example because this one shows it worked. But yeah, there's plenty of times where you do that, and then I'm like, well, that really screwed me. And then it's like I stop out half, and then it still does like it. You know, it could have spiked over it. It touched 280, so I stop out, and then it wouldn't have broken high day, and then it comes back, and I took a loss when I didn't need to. It definitely can. It doesn't always, help you.
When it works, you end up with bigger gains. When it chops, like say 30 more minutes of the price action we saw, you could potentially keep covering into your risk level, but it not breaking, and then shorting at worse averages, and then doing the same thing over and over.
Right. Next thing you know, you chop yourself up 4 times, and you're like, what am I doing here? FFIE, we're just faded now. New low a day-ish. About a couple minutes ago.
You said noon on that?
Noon, yeah, Eastern.
What's the earliest you think they could reverse split?
It's a good point. I don't know. I would imagine soon. I think the deadline for their what's it called compliance is August 31st. They have less than a month. So I'd imagine, and also not only that, but they also like needed cash like 2 months ago. I'm pretty sure in a video the CEO said, "Yeah, if we don't get money, like we can't pay our rent," and that was like in May. So I would envision they want to get that puppy started as quickly as possible. Oh, Lumen lower. We'll keep the stream going here just to see if we can get these covers on camera. Let's see. But yeah, so I envision, I have no idea, but I would envision it should they wouldn't waste time on FFIE, especially because they've like it's been well known for months now. And they PR'd like I think almost over a month ago that like, hey, we're proposing a reverse split, so it's not a surprise.
That did not make its way into the Reddit.
Oh, of course not, not there, but people like us who read PRs.
Justin says I played BFI yesterday and was great this morning. Congratulations.
Nice, nice. Serve rolling over. Probably don't touch it. It's just not the. Although it did.
I wonder what Serve's gonna do over the next like 7 days. Like, does it turn into more of like it doesn't come. I envision with this type of news and it just kind of feeling like a fresh chart that like does it just kind of hang around a lot longer on lower volume, just not do much. Like it's not really bottom of the barrel. I don't feel like.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough. It technically did make it to the mid 17s today, so there is merit to be like, I should have probably shorted maybe high 16s, but I don't know. It's just not. It's not really. We're trying to be picky. We're trying to be efficient, and I just don't think this is a trade that I'm going to look back on and be like, yeah, wow, like great job, or like it's a week maker.
Yeah.
All right, we feel.
I think in general, most people would be better off avoiding any trade that they couldn't say was going to be a week maker.
Yeah. All right, we filled more. 237 there.
Filled a third as well.
We've got a third left. Let's see if we can. What's the exact low here? What's this low?
232.
Yeah, and then this second higher high at like 234. Let's see if the low 230s will support or break. If it probably supports right away, I'm probably just gonna, or I shouldn't say supports right away. If it supports right away and then immediately starts spiking back to the high 230s, then I probably will just cover it. I don't care to stick around too long here. I'm kind of looking for a panic right through, and if it doesn't, then we'll just cover it. However, if it does bottom right now, like as we speak, it's already back over 240. I probably will let it bounce on me just because I do want to try to give it that chance if it does retest it a little bit. And honestly, now that I've covered 2/3, if it does bounce back to, let's say, like in the extreme case, like 260 or into VWAP, I actually would love to like, re-add it and get a cover, or like for a pullback back to the 240s. That'd be kind of nice. But yeah, biggest green candle of this move so far. So probably a bounce to start, but we'll see.
How's the like button looking?
How is the like button? We got 104 viewers. 37 guys. Not great.
Whoa.
Yeah, a little lower end.
Did you ask them?
I didn't. I was being nice on them, honestly, but I should now. Like the like button. Appreciate the appreciate button. I'm going to text my grandma again. Tell her to let
her know. Franklin says, thank you guys for this. Well, we do it every day. Not the live trading portion. We do it every Wednesday, 9:15. We used to call it Free Wednesday, where we're here for you guys live trading. We are doing Wine Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern tonight.
Yes.
It's kind of a full-on work day for us, and then we're on top of the Clover stuff all throughout the day. So come join us later tonight, 7 p.m. for Wine Wednesday. If you want access to our webinars, video lessons, Trade Alerts watch list, the room, and all the amazing people in it. We have an actual amazing community with some great traders in there. I see some of their names in the chat right now. Dawson obviously says, I never met somebody in person named Franklin. Very informative stuff going on in the chat, stuff like that all the time. Yeah, clovertrain.io if you want that. If you're just here for the free stuff, then we're here every morning, 8:45 a.m. for Good Morning NASDAQ. Huddy will be finishing his gallivanting in Europe, so he'll be back tomorrow, he says. So you might see him Friday.
Nice. Yes. Heidi and I have a webinar for Power Hour into the close Friday. See if there's
Oh,
any good overnight plays. We'll see.
I
But
won't be here. I got a 3-day golf tournament over the weekend.
whoa,
Starts Friday afternoon. Pretty big, pretty
yeah,
big.
that's what Dom's taking overnight in the golf tournament over the weekend.
Well, there might be some a golf course trade worth taking.
Very nice. Well, all right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Of course, in the chat, guys, we'll let you know what we do with the rest of Lumen here. I'll certainly be around for FFIE's shareholder meeting, and as always, we'll see everybody on Wine Wednesday tonight. Peace out, everybody.
Alrighty, bye everyone.
Bye.